Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our live Q&A for the 2022 Saturday Visitor Awards, meeting every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Hello to everyone from here in lovely Baltimore. It's getting darker a little bit later, so it's still light outside. It doesn't feel like night, but I'm really excited to be joining you guys our last Thursday. Now, 11 days, counted them. I just counted them, opened up my calendar, and I counted those days. We are 11 days away from the deadline for the call for entries for the 2022 Saturday Visitor Awards, recognizing a new generation of artists and writers inspired by Edgar Allan Poe. If this is your first time watching one of our live Q&As, thank you for joining tonight. If you're returning, just to kind of get a little bit more information, little tidbits as you sit back and rub your hands together, getting ready to submit your entry for the awards. Totally fine. I got some really great questions over the last week. I'm going to share some of those with you. And then also we'll be talking tonight about some of the judges and what you can expect as a nominee if your work is nominated for the Saturday Visitor Awards this year at the International Edgar Allan Poe Festival in October. So we'll get started here, but first, as always, brief introduction to Poe Baltimore. My name is Enrica Jang. I'm the Executive Director of Poe Baltimore and the Edgar Allan Poe House and Museum here in beautiful Baltimore, Maryland. I'm also the Awards Administrator for the Saturday Visitor Awards. Poe Baltimore, the nonprofit organization created to fund, maintain, and interpret the Edgar Allan Poe House and Museum. We keep Poe House open, Poe's chamber door open to visitors both in person and online, as you can see here. Second part of our mission dedicated to celebrating Edgar Allan Poe's legacy, sharing with people the outsized impact that Edgar Allan Poe has had on popular culture. Father of Gothic fiction, a wonderful, known for his famous poem, Raven, of course, and the father of the detective story. That's very few, really the favorite game of mine is to challenge people to think of another author who's really shaped popular culture the same way, to the same degree that Poe has. And I'll give you maybe Shakespeare. I'll give you maybe, he's not a writer, but the Holy Bible. Like maybe these things have shaped popular culture, but Poe has shaped popular culture in just an incredible way. And so we at Poe Baltimore celebrating Poe's legacy. Little plug for Poe House here in Baltimore. Poe House, the last surviving home in the city of Baltimore, where Poe and his family known to have lived, less than a mile away, in fact, from where Poe lives now, where he's buried at 203 North Amity Street here in Baltimore, Maryland. We are open every Thursday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, Poe House is open on a very limited basis at this time. You got to make a reservation. But we welcome visitors every week. Look forward to seeing you in Baltimore, not just at Poe House, but for the festival. And of course, if you are watching this, you're trying to get these tips and tricks for the Saturday Visitor Awards, you're in the right place. And hopefully I will see you in Baltimore this October. So dates to remember, January 19th, of course, just passed. It was the call for entries. That's when it opens. Happy birthday, Edgar Allan Poe. Our deadline to enter the awards coming up, 11 days, May 30th. Form will close. I'm going to slam that window right down on your fingers at 11:59 p.m. EDT, Eastern Time. So get those entries in. We know I am one of you. Us creative folks, we are last creatures of the last minute. But get those entries in. You want to get those in before May 30th deadline to enter. Now, if all goes well, we'll be talking about the judging rounds tonight. We'll be talking about our judges this evening. Those folks, if I get the slate to them as the administrator and nothing goes too wonky with the judging, we will announce the official nominees on July 30th, and those nominees are then invited to attend Poe Fest International, given booth space at the International Edgar Allan Poe Festival and Awards this weekend, October 8th and 9th. Now, if you haven't seen on our other Facebook page or our website, some lovely festival art. This is the poster for this year's awards, the poster by artist Jason Strutz. 2 days of books, music, and art, and of course the awards commemorating the 173rd anniversary of Edgar Allan Poe's death in Baltimore. It is Death Weekend in Baltimore. but that is the venue. That is the place where we have the Saturday Visitor Awards. Now, our awards ceremony presented every year at the Black Cat Ball. The Black Cat Ball is the official party of the Saturday Visitor Awards, and this year will be at Westminster Hall. Now, I have released some of the information about the Black Cat Ball this year because this is the 200th birthday of Virginia Poe, Edgar Allan Poe's wife and muse. This year's Black Cat Ball is Gothic wedding themed. So some really fun things going on this evening. But as a nominee, you're invited to attend to the Black Cat Ball and our award ceremony presented at the Black Cat Ball. So fantastic weekend to remember. And everyone's a winner if you're a nominee because you're invited to attend and you get to take part in our street festival. I'm going to see some comments coming up here. We already have some questions coming in. Fantastic. Let me go through some of these things to remember at the very, very top here, and we'll continue, and I'll get to those questions tonight. All right, so the website to visit, SaturdayVisitorAwards.org. This is the site for all things SVA. You can download our entry guidelines here. Highly recommend everybody download those guidelines. Get familiar with those. I'll go over some of the top line information tonight, but that's where you go to download the guidelines, kind of really get into things. And you can also download a sample form before you enter, so that there are no surprises when you're getting ready to submit your work. So the entry guidelines are found there. The sample form is there. You'll also find frequently asked questions. If you have any questions, again, I see those questions tonight. We're going to answer some of those. But if you have any other questions, if you're watching this late, you're not here with us live tonight, you can contact me at contact@poefestinternational.org. That is the place also to send specific questions about your entry. Very happy to tackle some of those, but if you have specific questions, what's my favorite thing to say? If there's a question, there's no question. Get a hold of us. You're not ruining the surprise. You're not You're not revealing anything too soon. As the administrator, I am here to help you cure your entry. Make sure that those entries are in shape. Get those entries in tip-top shape for the judges and get that ballot ready for the judges. So we'll be talking about that tonight. Now, tonight is the night to ask your questions live online. Please don't try to send us a direct message on Facebook or DM and Twitter, this kind of thing. Send us an email. That's the best place to get specific questions answered if you don't see what you're looking for tonight. Now, in previous weeks, we have really touched on how the awards are presented in two categories, adaptations of Poe's life or works. The second category, original works inspired by Poe. This is the part where I show you our video about the guidelines and a little bit more about those categories, and then we'll get to some of the questions I am seeing right now. All right, so those two categories, adaptations of Poe's life or works, as you saw in the video, portraiture fits here, actual likeness of Edgar Allan Poe in any medium, of course. You can do it in macaroni. We haven't seen noodles yet, but a portrait of Poe, a portrait of somebody in Poe's life, a real historical figure, this kind of thing. This is appropriate in the adaptation category. Biography. Now, given the narrative nature of biography, whether it's an entire biography of Poe's life or even some part of Poe's life or talking about somebody in Poe's life. This is why the narrative nature of such works falls into the adaptation of Poe's life or works category. However, we are not looking for academic papers or this kind of analysis, critical analysis of Poe's writing. That's more of an academic kind of treatise. So the Saturday Visitor Awards are more for creative works. While biography fits here, more academic criticism, that's for some other award, not the SVA. Film, dramatic adaptation, what we might understand of more classical adaptation of Poe's works, those fall in this category. Now, all of these works are creative. We know all of these works are creative. The original works category, looking more at using Poe as character in a film, novel, or play, sequels, prequels, any other basis for original story, not using Poe's exact words, but perhaps using him as the basis or inspiration for the work, that's going to fall in the original works category, and original poetry would fall here. Now, we do want to caution everybody. Everybody gets worried about this. I don't know which category because this Poe's a real guy and he's in this and this and this. It's absolutely okay. If you have a question, no question, get a hold of us and I can help you. We can help you choose the right category for when you submit your work. However, if the judges feel that maybe I was a little off base and they all feel that the work needs to be switched over to another category, you are not penalized for choosing the quote unquote wrong category. If the judges decide to slide you over to the other category, there's no penalty for that, and you'll just be given a notice that that has happened and just alerted that you're now competing in a different category. But that happens behind the scenes. It's not anything to worry about. So do your best. You have a little bit of time, though. If you have a question, get a hold of me, get a hold of us here at the Saturday Visitor Awards. We're very happy to answer that question. So I see really, really great two questions that have popped up. A question from Jennifer. She says that she has submitted her entry today. Congratulations. She didn't get a notification or anything except from PayPal. Will it get an acceptance email? And if so, when you complete the form, when you complete your entry form, and we'll go over the website, where to go and where to look for that. And you can see in the previous video what that form looked like and where to do that. And you saw your form. By submitting the form, by getting to the PayPal page, that is your confirmation. We did receive your entry. You wouldn't have been able to get to that page had we not received your entry. So that page said, we've received your entry. It's here. Here's the link to go to PayPal. So, but the fact that you've gone there, that means that we received your entry and you're not going to get anything else except to be told whether you are a nominee or not. You will be notified if your piece has been nominated or no, but you're not going to get anything else from us. But that's a wonderful, wonderful question, and thank you for asking that one. Second question, how many people will be selected or honored at the festival or ball, and are the writing pieces compared with art, film, etc., or is one selected from each form? The answer is that there are up to 10 nominees in each category. Now, it's important, how I'm saying that is important. The reason I'm saying it that way, the judges may elect to seat fewer than 10 nominees, and that is generally a numerical calculation. Going through the scoring, if you have any questions about the scoring, that kind of thing, you can see a little bit more of an explanation in previous videos about how the judges get from your form to their judging rounds. But if the judges feel that only perhaps 6 of the slates should be filled, the judges may elect to only seat that many nominees. Further, if a score does not hit the threshold numerically, it won't advance to another round, to the next round. So the judges may seat fewer than 10 nominees, but there's a maximum of 10 nominees per category. Now, are the writing pieces compared to film or art or this kind of thing? The answer is yes. We do not have a separate award for writing, a separate award for film. All of these pieces are judged against one another. And again, we go back to this idea of the categories. We go back to this notion of in a previous video, we talked about what are the primary considerations that the judges are looking at. The first being primary consideration for the adaptation category. If someone asked you for an introduction to Poe's life or writing, would you recommend this piece to them? And that looking at these various pieces, comparing them to one another, Is the piece a contribution worthy of Poe's legacy, presenting either Poe's writing or the facts of Poe's life in a creative and original way? That's the primary consideration. And that's how we can compare film against poetry or children's books or this kind of thing. This is the primary consideration. That's how the pieces are getting compared against one another. In the original works category, the primary consideration for the judges is the work essential rather than merely commercial. And the question judges are asked, if someone who already loved Poe asked you as an expert, and our judges are experts, to recommend works with a dramatic take on Poe's life or writing, would this piece make your best of list? Historical works are eligible here. And that's how we can compare writing against film, this kind of thing. The primary consideration of the piece is the work essential rather than merely commercial. And that's what the judges are looking at. And that's how the pieces are scored against one another. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight as to what the judges are looking for as we go through here. Now, talking about judges this evening, I'm going to show you our website in just a bit and kind of walk you through where you can find more information about our judges. But this is our beautiful panel of 6 Saturday Visitor Awards judges for 2022. As you can see, we have professionals here from the Poe Museum, Richmond. We have a gentleman from the Poe Cottage, New York. We have 2 judges this year from Poe Studies Association, professionals and educators dedicated to the study of Poe, representative from Westminster Hall, as well as representative from our board, Thomas Brown. So I'm going to show you in just a minute where to look for more information about our judges. But it's important to note that as you are submitting your work, getting this work in front of members of the Poe community, if you will, the Poe Nation, as I like to call it, but getting your work in front of other people who love Poe as much as you do, and looking at your work, getting attention from important Poe places here in the United States, important Poe associations. That's the purpose of the awards. Really celebrate these beautiful works, this wonderful creative spirit of Poe in popular culture, and getting them in front of everyone. So, all right, so I have shared my screen here. This is the Saturday Visitor Awards homepage, the SaturdayVisitorAwards.org. If you type that into a browser, this is what you're going to see. A little bit, we've got a very helpful link directly to the entry form right at the top here, the deadline, of course, reminding you that it is May 30th. And as you scroll down on this page, we looked at this in our last session. As you scroll down the page, you'll see a little bit of background about the awards, a little bit about the organizations that are participating. As you continue to scroll, another link to the entry form. But here is where you can download those guidelines for entry and download the entry form sample so that there are no surprises. And I do invite you to find last week's video if you want to go more in depth in the form, a little bit of a lot of it very helpful, hopefully helpful information last week about that. But again, we are here to answer those questions if you have any, and so you can get a hold of us. Let's see here, got a little frozen here. I want to go back up to the very, very top of our page. Now, if you look on the menu, want to find more information about our judges, as you can see, Saturday Visitor Awards menu here, there is a page for the SVA categories and judges. Takes you there. There's a link to that wonderful video that I show you every week about the guidelines for entry. You can watch it again on your own time here. A little bit about our awards categories, and what we're looking for in each of those categories. And then as you come down here, you will see our 2022 SVA presenter and guest of honor. This year, we're very, very pleased to welcome best-selling author Lynn Cullen, author of Mrs. Poe. If you haven't had an opportunity to find this novel yet, where have you been? This is an incredible novel. I highly recommend it to everyone, and especially as this is a year that we are celebrating the 200th birthday of Virginia Poe, a book that features her prominently and more of the Poe marriage. But Lynn Cullen will be joining us from Atlanta, coming to Baltimore the night of the awards. You can read more of her biography here. Now, as we scroll down here, we see pictures of our lovely judges, very stern-looking. Chris Sentner, curator of the Poe Museum Richmond, a little bit of his background here. Now, he has joined us every year of the awards thus far. It's a wonderful way to get in front of those folks in Richmond, and he's just a wonderful he's participated in several of our programs, and we've collaborated several times. I'm very, very happy to be welcoming folks from the Poe Museum Richmond back to the panel this year. Jessica Williams, this is her first year as a judge for the Saturday Visitor Award. She is the Associate Director of Special Events at the Westminster Preservation Trust, Westminster Hall and Burying Ground, of course, the place here in Baltimore where Poe and many members of the Poe family, including Virginia, are buried. And so this is her first year on the SBA panel. You can read more of her here. Dr. Susan Elizabeth Sweeney from College of the Holy Cross. She is a member of the Poe Studies Association. She is joining us this year. This is her first year judging the Saturday Visitor Awards, and the first of two people from the Poe Studies Association on our panel this year. You can read more about her here. Roger McCormick is the education director at the Poe Cottage in the Bronx, at the Bronx County Historical Society up in New York. Poe in his lifetime never owned property. Now that he's dead, you can visit 3 of the houses that he lived in, and Roger handles the Poe Cottage up in New York. And that is actually the site where Virginia Poe passes away. I highly recommend a visit to the cottage if you have an opportunity. They also offer virtual tours, but this is Roger's second year on the Saturday Visitor Awards panel. I'm very happy to welcome him. Now, Dr. John Edward Martin oh goodness, what? Oh, I thought I put his University of North Texas. Sorry, John. John Edward Martin will be joining us for the first time this year. He's our second Poe Studies Association member on the panel this year. He has done a lot of study and wonderful work on Poe in comics, and you might have seen one of his presentations during our Poe House Presents author series in the last few years, or at the 2020 Saturday Visitor Awards. The 2020 International Edgar Allan Poe Virtual Festival. He has given several presentations about Poe in popular culture, and so he has asked me to share. He's very excited to be part of our panel this year, and we're very, very pleased to welcome him as one of our judges. And then Thomas Brown Woodwright, LLC. He is a member of the Poe Baltimore Board of Directors. He is our board liaison on the panel, and he also has been with us every year of the Saturday Visitor Awards. But more about all of our judges on the website, and that is where to go to find them. Since we're exploring the website here, more information, some Saturday Visitor Awards frequently asked questions you can see here, and go through some of those questions if you have anything. And then for the second year, the Young Saturday Visitor Awards. Now, I don't want to get too deep into the weeds about the Young Saturday Visitor Awards this year. They are not yet open, but this is our youth category for students in the state of Maryland. This is very different from the Saturday Visitor Awards at large that we are talking about this evening. But if there are any high school students out there who want to get into the game, create works inspired or adapting Edgar Allan Poe, Young Saturday Visitor Awards may be for you, and you can find more information on our website. So, all right. Any other questions? As we are wrapping up here, I'll go over some of the information that I have covered in previous sessions, a little bit about eligibility. Again, more about those eligibility guidelines on our website, but just always important to note, media, art, performance, and or writing that adapts or is inspired by Poe's life and works. Just about any medium, just about any genre. We have seen it already, and we're eager to see more. So there are no restrictions in terms of the type of work that you can submit, as long as it adapts or is inspired by Edgar Allan Poe. Now, the work must have been released, printed, distributed, or first performed performed between January 1, 2019 and December 31, 2021, the previous 3 years. That's very important to note. If you have not yet completed your work, you're like in a mad dash to complete this work so you can submit it this year, sad news for you. You're not eligible yet. Your day will come. You will be eligible next year, but your work must have been completed by December 31 of 2021. Sometime in the previous 3 years. Now, it's important that the work was released publicly, even if it's on social media, even if it's on your own website, even if it's something that you self-published. That is okay, but the work must have been available for the public to see, not behind a password protection, not behind anything that sort of obstructed the public's view. Released, printed, distributed, or first performed between January 1, 2019 and December 31, 2021. Now, if you're just hearing about the awards, you've been creating works inspired by Poe for years. Please note that reprinted or re-released materials are discouraged. So if you don't have something created and released within this period of time, your piece is no longer eligible. And a work may be nominated in more than 1 year, but a winning entry may not be entered again. All right, so we have about 4 minutes, so I'll just go over some important things to remember. I try to hit these highlights on most of our videos, and if I don't see any new questions coming in, we'll just go over some of these in case some people out there are watching for the very first time. And remember, we see these mistakes every year, so these do bear repeating. Please understand eligibility. We do put the guidelines up on the website so you can download them, take a look at them. There should be no surprises. We are looking for completed works, first released, published, printed, available to be seen by the public at some point in the previous 3 years. Please understand eligibility. A lot of people submit something outside this period of eligibility, and it's always sad for me to have to tell them, look, your work is wonderful, but you're not eligible for the awards. So try to keep that in mind. You will be asked to provide a link, a digital link to your piece for the judges to see. As I've said in previous videos, we don't have the budget to send our judges around the world to come and see and be in the presence of your piece. And we do understand what we're asking for you to provide a very cold, heartless link to your work. Difficult sometimes for a judge to really get the full impact of the piece that you're sharing without being in the presence of the work. But we do give you an opportunity to explain to the judges exactly what they might be missing or what might not be readily apparent from your process or from being in the presence of the work. But regardless, everybody is asked to provide a link to their work, and this link must work. Every year, I get a handful of people that send me a broken link or something that is just not accessible. You will be given one opportunity. I'm going to contact you one time to give me a working link, and you'll have one opportunity to fix it. But if it doesn't work after that, you are disqualified and you won't be given a warning about that. So do please keep that in mind. Please make it easy to view. We're asking you to send a link to the judges for them to link directly to your piece. Please do not require a password. Don't take them to a store page that's going to require some kind of $0 purchase or anything like that. You're going to want to make it as easy as possible to view. This link will not be posted anywhere else, but we do need it for the judge to access your work. And you want to assume the judges don't have any special memberships, any special programs to open it. So universal types of files like PDFs, PNGs, JPEGs, this kind of thing, that's what we're looking for. You don't want to send the TIFF file that requires Photoshop to open, or even though everybody might have digital readers these days, do not assume that your judge has a Facebook account. Do not assume that they have a Kindle account, Nook, any of that stuff. You want to send them directly to the piece, to the complete work. I also, we really do discourage editable files, saying that perfectly, editable files, Word documents or Pages documents or social media links that kind of tend to skate across the page or anything like that. If your piece was released via social media, that is totally fine. Take a screenshot, and that's what you want to send to us. You don't want to send them to a Facebook page with the formatting skating all over the place. You don't want to send them to a Word document with different fonts or different formatting or anything like that, because invariably it doesn't show up the way you want it to. So do keep that in mind. You want to make it easy to view. Assume that the judges are not going to purchase something for $0. You want to send them directly to the piece. Some do's and don'ts. Do use file sharing services. We love Dropbox. We love Google Drive. Don't require passwords to open a file. Please don't require passwords to open a file. Do link directly to the work. Please don't use transfer services that expire after 30 days. Do yourself a favor, find a way to package a piece so that the file is small, so that will not require a transfer service like WeTransfer or anything else, because those invariably expire after a certain amount of time, or they've got a limited to downloads or anything like that. If you make it difficult for the judges, not only are you going to annoy them before they even look at your piece, but that's just not a good idea. So don't use transfer services. Do package covers, multiple pages into a single file. We do understand that one piece, one work might have multiple different images, that kind of thing. You want to try to package that in a way. PDFs really are going to be your best friend when it comes to this kind of thing, putting it into a single format that's not going to skate around this kind of thing. And musical works, you can package covers, you can package any other kind of visual element that goes with your work in this way. Don't link to websites that require $0 purchases. I'm serious about this. Please don't do that. Because the judges don't want to do that, and I don't want to have to tell you that your piece has been disqualified. All right. All right, well, it is 7:32. I haven't seen any other questions pop up here. So I hope that it was helpful, how to look at the website, how to learn more about the judges, where those folks are from. And I hope that it's exciting. It's exciting for Poe Baltimore to work with these other Poe places around the country, work with the Poe Studies Association, all these other people, this network of folks excited about Poe, just as our creators are excited about Poe, and share your work with folks. Is that a question? All right. Well, thank you. And I see your message there, Jennifer. Thank you very, very much. All right. Well, without any other questions coming in, good luck, everyone. 11 days. I will be back with you next week to talk more about the Saturday Visitor Award, some last minute tips and tips, tricks, and answering any questions for you. And we do, whether you are nominated or not, whether you submit a work this year or not, please, we look forward to seeing you here in Baltimore for the International Edgar Allan Poe Festival and Awards. Please come on out for the Black Cat Ball, our Gothic wedding themed event for next year. Next week, we should, in fact, have a teaser ready to share with everybody, promotion for the festival. And that video is always a lot of fun to unveil. All right. And I think I'll end just on the website, where to find that website, SaturdayVisitorAwards.org. Click around. You can see some of our past nominees, past winners on the site. You can see what we have planned for the festival this year. Hopefully just get excited. And if you need to contact us, have any questions before you enter your piece, contact@PoeFestInternational.org. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.